What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I know I'm a couple days late on this. I've been pretty busy with work and been a little obsessed with Division 2 lately. It's been consuming most of my free time, but I do need to talk about this. A lot of other people have been talking about it. I just want to give my opinion on the overall mess here and also talk about something positive we could possibly glean from the change here. But what's going on is on Friday, CGSB Crumb put out an update saying that they are going to be changing the hard node attempts back to 5 from 8 where it is currently. So we will be seeing that sometime in this coming update this week. We'll also probably get a hint at maybe something with Malik. Hopefully in this we will see. But the big thing to note is that we are going back to 5 attempts from 8. And that has a lot of people upset, and they do have a right to be upset with that. It's a pretty big change, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people out there. Your whales are pretty much the only people who are really not going to be affected by that, but you're talking about 1% of your player population. This is going to hurt pretty much everybody else out there, and there's no two ways about this. This change sucks. If you don't buy every character at 7 stars when they come out in the marquee packs, this is going to make it harder for you to farm this character up to 7 stars. It's going to increase the amount of time that you have to spend to farm for these panic windows, like for legendaries, which I think we're going to be seeing a legendary here very soon. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But even for people who aren't trying to do panic farms, this sucks for your newer players too, and this sucks for them even more, because now they're going to be at an extreme disadvantage. You have a lot of people who are still trying to farm up all these characters to 7 stars, and now pretty much their attempts are getting cut in half. You're going from 8 attempts to 5, and then you have to pay the crystal refreshes, and then you can get another 5 attempts on top of that. You're pretty much going to get somewhere a little over half of the shards you were going to get before with this change, and that's just gonna suck. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's gonna suck for anyone who has to spend their time farming these characters. And you know, they did say here they increased it with the launch of Mods 2.0 to help players earn Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan, you know, the 7-star characters you had to have for the journeys. So, you know, there was a lot of panic farming there, and the 8 attempts on the nodes was really helpful there. But you would think they would keep this around because it has been around for quite a while. It was 7 months, I believe, was the duration of it currently. They had brought it back before, as they said, temporarily, and then they took it away. And you know, that was for a few months the first time, but then the second time around with Jedi Knight Revan, they brought it in, and it's been here for 7 months. And at that point, it kind of feels like the status quo should be the 8 attempts. So it really, it's kind of a shock to see it suddenly go back to 5 attempts after that. It really felt like the status quo was now going to be 8 attempts on the hard nodes, and it didn't really feel like they were going to be taking that away. And you know, when I first saw this announcement, I wasn't really surprised because I had always known that they were going to say it was temporary. But then you think about how long this has been here, and yeah, you would pretty much think at that point they're just going to keep it around. They never said they were going to. They had always stressed that it was going to be a temporary thing, but it had been around for so long, you just think it's going to stay. It's just what you think was going to happen. So it was a nasty shock for a lot of people out there to see this. Now, me personally, it's really not going to affect me too much, but I'm also on the higher end of paying players. They have people who are buying characters and stuff. So personally, this really doesn't have an effect on me, but I've heard from so many people over the past couple of days. There's also a petition where people are asking to sign. So we do have this petition where over 7,000 people have signed so far, and this has only been up for a few days. It's only been up since Friday. We already have a lot of people who signed, and you can see more people are constantly signing as I'm looking at the page right now. So what does this mean for the future? And it's pretty much the near future. We already know that B2 Super Battle Droid is going to be the login for this month, and that means we're going to be seeing something with your Separatist droids. So the thought is it's going to be a Padme Legendary event where you're going to use the Separatist droids Grievous, B2, B1, Magna Guard, and Droideka. You're going to use them as a legendary event to obtain Padme. B1 and Droideka, there are your newer characters that you have to buy from crystal shipments. If you go and look at it, you'll see, hopefully, I think it may show up for me, it may not. But right here in your crystal shipments, you will see Droideka and B1 show up. They just went to crystal shipments, and they'll probably go free to play towards the end of the month. And this kind of lines up with speculation that Padme will be a May the 4th legendary character. It makes sense. May the 4th, having an iconic character come out. We also saw R2-D2 come out May the 4th 2 years ago. So having another legendary iconic character on May 4th seems to be the consensus and seems to make sense here. So if you are working on farming up and gearing up these characters for Padme, the best thing I can recommend right now is start gathering crystals, because sometime this week we'll get the hard node attempts reduced. That means that you are going to then see it become much harder to farm Droideka B1 and other future characters we see down the road. They're going to be much harder to farm to 7 characters than they are currently. Now, also keep in mind, legendaries only need 5 stars to unlock, but people usually go for 7 stars because, you know, Gear 12 and the 7 or the 6 dot mods, raid use, 7 star, it usually works out better for people in the end. But you can just worry about getting the 5 stars. But overall, start setting up your crystals if this is something you're going to be worried about. If you're not sure you're going to be able to farm them up in time or buy constant refreshes on hard nodes, I would start hoarding your crystals now. And while that is a temporary fix for now, it's going to put a lot more stress on people who are newer to the game. You know, I heard from someone who doesn't even have Django fully farmed or unlocked yet. There's a lot of people who don't have a lot of the newer and even well-established characters out there that are fully farmed. There's so many characters out there. If you go and look at the hard nodes, I mean, Django is on 8D, and that's 20 energy per sim, so 100 energy under the new node refreshes, and that means that while you can pretty much, let me just go ahead and do it. Let's see. We'll do 6 here. Didn't even get a single Django shard, and you know, Django is one of the better bounty hunter elites out there, and you know, he's hard to get because he's just on a single hard node, and this is gonna suck. And you know, it's not even that, it's also ships as well. You go and look at fleet battles, you go and look at the hard nodes, you're gonna get those cut down to 5 as well. Now, you don't see many characters on here. There are a couple, like Jolie, some of them that tie to the newer characters out there. Zalbar's on here as well, so characters for Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan. A lot of them are on the hard node ships, and this is gonna suck for those people too, because now they're gonna have to spend more time focusing on the energy on those characters, buying those refreshes, and you know, stacking up even more energy. It's gonna be harder for anyone to farm Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan here in the near future or further down the road, because those hard nodes are gonna get cut back as well. So it sucks. I mean, there's no other way around this. It's overwhelmingly negative. There's nothing really positive to glean from this, except for one thing, and you know, some people have pointed out, and I have to agree. If you go back and look at the post, and they said that this was temporary to help with earning Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan because of their journey characters, harder farms. Something that we can hopefully see or hopefully glean from this and take it as a positive is that this means for quite a while we will not be seeing any more journey characters. This means that the thoughts that we're going to see an Anakin Darkside journey event for the Clone Wars content coming here in the next couple of months, I doubt we're going to see that now because they would have kept this around. So I think that will put the journey event for Anakin to bed for now. This means that we will no longer be seeing journeys for quite a while. If we still had journeys on the road, if we still had journeys in the near future for us, they would probably be keeping this around. They're hinging their whole purpose for the 8 attempts versus 5 was that the journey events, mods 2.0, harder to farm characters, you have to get them 7 stars versus 5 legendaries. If we had another journey coming here very soon, I would not expect them to drop this back to 5 attempts. I think that they would keep it at 8 if we had a journey character coming here very soon. So, I mean, that's just me. I think that we are not going to see any more journeys here in the future. Now, if we do see some journeys here in the very near future with the 5 attempts instead of 8 attempts, yeah, CG, you done screwed up there. That's not cool at all. But, I mean, that's maybe one positive thing. That's the only positive thing I can really think about with this. Everything else about this sucks. It screws over the newer players, screws over your free-to-play players. The only people who aren't affected are your whales. The people in the whale chats I've talked to, they don't really care. They see it as something to help, like, increase the gap between them and free-to-play players. But I mean, even the people who don't have these characters to 7 stars, and there's plenty of people in the whale chats who don't have every character at 7 stars, they're acknowledging this is going to make it harder for them as well. So even some of your whales are going to have a harder time with this. Overall, this is just a negative change, and I really, really do think CG needs to keep this around. This is something that they really should keep as a status quo now. It needs to be 8. It's been around for so long. It's been taken for granted, and you know, even when they did the initial or even when they did the second change back, I don't think they even stressed that it was a temporary thing. But I think most of us assumed it was going to be a temporary thing. But who knows? All I can say is that CG, you've seen all the videos by now for sure. You've seen the petition. You've seen the outcry on Reddit. I mean, if you go and look at the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Reddit, I'm pretty sure it's still nothing. But yeah, hard no change. Talking about, let's see. It's kind of toned down a little bit, but on Friday and Saturday, it was nothing but just people talking about the hard no changes. And we've kind of, yep, here we go, as the community come together and keep protesting. But it was pretty much unified in their dissatisfaction of the change of the hard nodes. And that, I think, is something to notice. When Reddit all comes together and declares something as a bad idea, that means you've really screwed up, because everybody's agreeing on it. And it's really not, it's really interesting to see everybody on Reddit unite and go against CG on something like this. So even Reddit thinks that it's a bad idea. The other YouTubers that I've talked to, they think it's a bad idea. I've seen Arnold's video, Mobile's video, they both think it's a terrible idea. It's pretty much universally proclaimed as a bad idea. So I'm imploring CG to please, for the love of God, do not do this. This is a terrible idea. I can't say that enough. It's bad. Please don't do it. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to go ahead and add my name to this. We will go ahead and McMole2 at gmail.com sign. There we go. I have signed the petition. I implore everybody else to also sign the petition. I am not going to spread it on Gmail or Facebook. It's a little sketchy, but there you go. Another person signing it. And yeah, this is a big deal. So if you are interested in signing the petition, again, there will be a link down to it below in the video description. That's going to be pretty much it for now. I'm actually about to go do a recording with another YouTuber. We're doing a collaboration on some clone reworks and some ideas for that. So I'll try to go ahead and get this video out tonight if I can. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. As always, I will talk to you guys later.